You don't need another extreme diet. You don't need to ban pizza, ditch dessert, or survive on nothing but chicken and broccoli. And you definitely don't need to go all in to make progress. Because let's be real, going all in usually means going all out the moment life gets tough. Every time you jump into a diet that demands perfection, you're not building a lifestyle. You're building a countdown to your next breakdown. Now, I get it. Going all in feels exciting at first. Motivation is through the roof. Your meals are prepped, and you're convinced this time will be different. But that rush doesn't last. Life gets busy, you forget your meals. Your friends invite you out. Stress hits, cravings creep in, and suddenly, that all-or-nothing plan you swore by starts to fall apart. And when there's no wiggle room in your plan, no flexibility, no forgiveness, you don't just slip, you spiral. One misstep turns into a full-on binge. One missed workout becomes a week off. Not because you're weak, but because your plan was never designed to be lived with. It was designed to be endured. And you can only endure something for so long before it breaks you. So, no. You don't need to go all in. You need a plan that works with your life, not against it. Something real. Something you can actually stick to when motivation isn't carrying you. Because that's where the real change starts. When you finally decide to change your life, it's tempting to go full throttle. That all-or-nothing switch flips, and suddenly it's no more takeout, no more sweets. Just clean eating, every meal, every day. It feels like power. It feels like control. That kind of energy is intoxicating, especially in the beginning. You feel unstoppable, like you finally cracked the code and nothing can get in your way. But what feels right in the heat of that moment doesn't always translate to results that actually stick. Your body doesn't care about how hyped up you are. It's not tuned into your motivational speech. It's tuned into what you're feeding it, how much stress you're under, and how long you can keep showing up. So when your diet becomes a long list of everything you can't have, it's no longer about health. It's about willpower. And let's be honest, willpower is not some endless tank you can refill every morning. It runs out. Fast. Food is fuel, but it's also memories, traditions, the way you bond with friends. That slice of birthday cake isn't just sugar, it's a moment. And when your diet erases all of that, what you're really doing is choking the joy out of eating. You might tell yourself it's discipline, but your body hears punishment. Your brain kicks into survival mode. Hunger signals go wild. Cravings sharpen. And before long, your perfect plan starts to feel like a prison. You ever hear someone say, "I was doing great all week until the weekend hit"? Yeah, that's the classic crash of a plan built on unrealistic rules. Monday through Friday, it's full-on discipline mode. Every meal weighed, every craving suppressed, every calorie tracked like gold. But when Saturday rolls around, you're exhausted. You feel like you earned a reward, so you treat yourself. One cookie turns into 5. One cheat meal becomes a binge. Not because you're weak, but because your body's been under pressure all week long, and now it's rebounding hard. The real damage isn't even the food. It's the guilt. That heavy, shame-soaked feeling like you've ruined everything. And instead of adjusting course or learning from it, you hit the panic button. You scrap the whole plan and start from zero again. Welcome to the diet binge repeat cycle. It's exhausting, it's disheartening, and worst of all, it's totally avoidable. This isn't just a willpower issue. Going all in can wreck your system from the inside out. When you undereat or restrict too hard, your cortisol goes through the roof. Your stress hormones spike, your sleep goes off the rails, your digestion slows down, and your energy crashes. You feel tired, cranky, foggy, and suddenly even thinking about sticking to your diet feels impossible. And here's the kicker. Your body fights back. It adapts. Metabolism slows down, clinging to every calorie like it's in survival mode. Now, you're eating less, but somehow making less progress. That's not discipline. That's sabotage disguised as effort. So many people walk around thinking they just need more discipline, that if they could just power through a little harder, they'd finally stick to the plan. But discipline isn't the problem, it's biology. You're not failing because you're weak, you're fighting a system that's literally built to protect you. Hunger isn't a character flaw, it's not a lack of willpower. It's your body doing its job. It doesn't care about six-pack goals or a summer deadline. It cares about survival. So when food intake drops, your body flips into conservation mode, cranking up your hunger hormones, slowing down your energy, and whispering "eat louder" with every passing hour. That's why you feel drained. That's why your mood shifts. Why a box of donuts in the break room feels like it's yelling your name. It's not some failure on your part. It's human nature stepping in to keep you alive. And here's the part nobody warns you about: the rebound. After days or weeks of extreme restriction, your body doesn't just go back to normal, it swings back, hard. You find yourself eating more than before, not because you're being reckless, but because your body's trying to catch up. It's been deprived, and now it's demanding compensation. And when the scale goes up, so does the shame. So you promise to start over. But this time, you'll try harder, right? Except harder doesn't work if the system you're in is broken. What you actually need is a new system. One that's built to last. Sustainability. It's not flashy. It's not dramatic. And yeah, it doesn't make headlines like drop 20 pounds in 2 weeks. But it's the real secret. The quiet key that unlocks long-term success. Sustainability means creating a way of eating that works on the days when life is smooth and on the days when everything hits the fan. It means you're not constantly starting over because there's nothing extreme to fall off of. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. And it starts with one unsexy but powerful truth. You should be able to enjoy the foods you love without guilt. This isn't about cutting out pizza. It's about learning how to eat 2 slices, feel satisfied, and move on. It's not about never having dessert. It's about making dessert part of your life in a way that doesn't lead to shame or spirals. When you stop labeling your favorite foods as bad, you stop giving them power over you. And when nothing is off limits, the urge to binge disappears. The real move? Start small. Pick one thing. Don't blow up your whole lifestyle overnight. Add a little protein to your meals. Drink water before you eat. Prep one lunch for the week. Eat at a table without your phone to avoid distractions. These are the building blocks. Because it's not the crash diets that change you. It's the habits you can stick with when no one's watching. Consistency isn't sexy, but it wins every time. Intensity burns hot and fast. Consistency? That's what transforms you. Enjoying this video? Hit that like button and subscribe for more honest fitness truths. It's time to drop the perfection mindset. You don't need flawless meals or picture-perfect macros to see progress. What you actually need is a plan that's flexible enough to live with. A good enough routine that hits your goals without hijacking your life. Because when you allow for joy in your meals, your cravings chill out, your hormones stay balanced, and, most importantly, your sanity stays intact. This is where the magic happens. When your diet doesn't feel like a sentence, you stop rebelling against it. You stop the constant back and forth of on track and off the rails. That's the difference between progress that sticks and progress that vanishes the moment life gets busy. The real trap? Labeling food as bad. The second you do that, it becomes more than just food. It becomes a trigger, a forbidden thrill. And we all know how that ends. You have one cookie, feel guilty, and think, screw it. Might as well finish the whole box. But when no food is off limits, there's no guilt. You can eat the cookie and move on. You can enjoy the cake and still hit your goals. That's not cheating. That's balance. And balance isn't just some wellness buzzword. It's the foundation of a lifestyle that actually lasts. Every time you fall off track, don't hit the reset button like it's game over. Instead, hit pause and ask yourself, what actually made this hard? Was the plan too rigid? Did stress mess with your appetite? Did you skip meals and end up face first in a binge? That's not a failure, that's feedback. And that feedback is gold. It shows you where the cracks are so you can reinforce them. Because real progress doesn't come from starting over 100 times. It comes from adjusting and moving forward. Let go of the idea that your plan should only work when everything's perfect. That's not life. Your plan needs to survive chaos. If it can't hold up on your most stressful, exhausting day, then it's not a plan worth following. What you need is something that bends when life pushes, not something that breaks and leaves you picking up the pieces. One of the smartest things you can do? Plan your indulgences. Seriously, love burgers? Pencil one in. Crave chocolate? Fit it into your day. When you allow room for what you love, it stops being this reckless cheat. It becomes part of the plan. And when it's part of the plan, there's no guilt, no spiral. No, I'll be better tomorrow. Just you, eating what you enjoy without blowing everything up. And here's the crazy part. Once food isn't forbidden, it loses its grip. You can have it, so you don't obsess over it. That's how you get control back, without the fight. Don't freak out if the scale doesn't move. Don't panic if your body doesn't change overnight. That doesn't mean you're broken or that your plan isn't working. It just means your body's doing what it's supposed to do. Adapt. Fat loss isn't a straight line. It zigzags, it pauses, It pushes back before moving forward. And those plateaus? They're not failures. They're part of the process. The real question isn't whether your plan works on your best day, it's whether you can stick to it on your worst. Because if your system only functions when life is perfectly in order, it's not a real system. It's a ticking time bomb. It's time to drop the belief that fitness equals misery. You don't have to suffer through bland meals, skip every social event, or say no to every craving to get results. You can build muscle and lose fat and still enjoy food. Still go out with friends. Still live. Saying yes to dessert doesn't mean saying no to progress. You're not cheating. You're just being human. And that's allowed. Food isn't your enemy. It's not sabotaging your goals. The real problem? The extreme mindset that tells you the only way to succeed is to suffer. That kind of thinking doesn't make you disciplined. It makes you exhausted. But when you find your balance, when you create something flexible, enjoyable, and sustainable, that's when everything changes. Because balance isn't weakness. It's freedom. And freedom is what makes results stick. So the next time that voice in your head says, "Let's go all in," pause, take a breath, step back from the hype and ask yourself one simple question. Can I actually see myself doing this next month? What about a year from now? Because that's the real test. Not whether it sounds exciting today, not whether it looks good on paper, but whether it fits into your life. If the answer is no, if it feels like a sprint you can't keep up with, it's not the right plan. It's not worth your time, your energy, or your mental health. Don't go all in. Go all forward, one choice at a time. One step, one habit, one meal. Progress isn't a dramatic transformation overnight. It's those little shifts, repeated over time, that stack up and change everything. Going all in leads to burnout, but going forward, that leads to growth. So eat the foods you love. Be kind to your body. Make room for life while chasing your goals. Because that's how real lasting change happens. Not in the all or nothing mindset, but in the keep going mindset.